How's it going, everybody? I'm your host, Rising Above Living, and today, guys, we are doing the big deep dive into Dr. Maruki. So, before we quite get into this, guys, I do want to give a bit of a fair warning. This is going to spoil the ending of Persona 5 Royal, not only just the true ending, but the alternate ending of the game as well, and spoil a lot of the directions that happened with the characters at the end of the game. So, please, if you have not beaten Persona 5 Royal, or Persona 5, just in general, if you have not beaten Persona 5, please go back, beat those first, then come to this and you'll understand the video a whole lot better and it will be 10 times more enjoyable. But that's my little spoiler warning. You have been warned. So without further ado, let's jump into this. So Persona 5 Royal has two major endings, and all of it really evolves around the choices that the Phantom Thieves make with Dr. Maruki, or aka what you as a player make out for the ending. So there are two endings, and like I said, this is spoiler territory. The two endings are either you live in an alternate world constructed by Dr. Maruki, the person who has listened to all the Phantom Thieves. He knows their struggles, he knows the hardships they have gone through, and he could create a cognitive world that will absolutely get rid of all of the hardships that they have. Or the Phantom Thieves can go against what Dr. Maruki is doing, destroy his cognitive world, and let Dr. Maruki know that what he's doing is wrong. But is he actually wrong? Is this something that we should be fighting against? That's the real big question here, and from what I have seen through my chat and through the playthrough that I've gotten, when I did this game, I streamed all of Persona 5 Royal, a lot of people were honestly super conflicted on whether or not Dr. Maruki was right, because any person from either side of the argument here could have a very valid and honest opinion when it comes to this. I'm a person who went to college for behavioral sciences. I have a bachelor's of general studies with a major in the arts of, behavioral sciences, and I have a sociology degree as well. So hearing all of the different people talk about whether or not they thought Dr. Maruki was right, whether he was wrong, was honestly super fun for me to do, and it's very hard to actually pick whether or not he is right, whether or not Dr. Maruki is justified, as the title of the video says. Is he justified in doing so? He's doing simply what he thinks is correct, just like all good villains do, like Deadpool, like Thanos. They come from somewhere that is sad and broken. Dr. Maruki also has this with his, ex-girlfriend, who then, just makes him disappear from her life because of his own power through his persona. So it's a hard question of whether or not being able to take away someone's pain and give them an imaginary world where there is no pain, is that the right thing to do? Is that an okay thing for someone to give to someone else? On, the cover, it does kind of look like, yeah, on paper, that would be a perfect way to live. That would be a perfect thing to do. It's like kind of like living in VR forever. So, first glance, you could say, oh, duh, obviously, living in a cognitive world, we have no suffering, no pain. That's obviously the best thing to do. But then we lead it to more different questions, like things like free will. Whether or not, if you don't experience pain, do you grow as a person? Will there be, artistic integrity there? Will you be able to freely do what you want? Has your free will been taken away because that cognitive world is not going to allow you to also cause pain or suffering to anyone else? So there is a big question here in terms of whether or not Dr. Maruki was right. So I have had 3 or 4 different attempts where I've tried to make this video, because the more and more I dwell on it, the more and more I realize that really this game just has 2 endings that you could go for. There really is no wrong answer. I've been trying to figure out which version do I think is correct, which do I think is right, because on one hand Akechi dies, on one hand Akechi lives. In the cognitive world, Akechi gets to make it out alive with Joker. So what is the true ending here? What do we want to see? Because really, there's the alternate / fake ending of the game, and then the true ending where Akechi supposedly is dead, unless you watch the very ending trailer. But in the cognitive world, now that we have Haru's father is alive and well, Futaba gets Wakaba back, which also makes Sojiro very happy. We have all of the characters in some way or another living freely, living happily. The Nijima sisters have their father back. Their father is alive. And we have Yusuke, who also has his master, who's not treating him like a dog, basically, is what we're supposed to assume there. And he actually has one of his pieces of art in a gallery. So everything seems perfect. Joker and Akechi are best buds. Akechi actually lives and makes it through. So what is the right thing for this to be here? You know, through the eyes of Dr. Maruki, it looks like everything's perfectly fine, that everybody is back, everything is good, everybody pretty much for the most part gets exactly what they want. But this is the thing that is not okay. This is the part that is wrong, and like I said, it's the matter of free will. Whenever I took my classes at university, I took some philosophy classes and ended up getting a minor in philosophy. And one of the things we talked about is the simulation theory. The simulation that the whole world is basically built around you or the other people, and you have preset, programmed things that you're going to end up doing no matter what. So you technically don't have free will. So you might think that you are doing something on your own free will when no, exactly, you were programmed to think that and you were programmed to even want to do that. So from the get-go, you actually don't have free will. You might feel like you have it, but in reality, you do not actually have free will. This might be exactly what is happening with Dr. Maruki's cognitive world that he builds around you. I like to think back to a movie called Shutter Island. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty good. It's from Leonardo DiCaprio. Well, it's not from him, but he's in it. But it deals with him being an insane person who is investigating an insane asylum. And the truth comes around it all the way to the end, so spoilers here for Shutter Island. But right at the very end of Shutter Island, he ends up figuring out that he himself is insane, and that he must come to terms with that either he is going to live his whole life as an insane person without really having the free will to choose as he does because he's insane. He doesn't really get to do what he wants to do, or he could choose to die as a free man. At the end of the movie, he explains to one of the people there with him, it's been a long time since I've seen it, but I know the quote stuck with me very, very hard. The quote at the end that he says is, "Would you rather live your life as a monster, or would you rather die a free man?" And that's the real question here, and I think that is exactly what Akechi wants. He wants to die as a free person. He does not want to live as a puppet controlled by Dr. Maruki. And this is the hardest part, is the idea of free will, because the thing is, on whether or not you are making these choices or not, the free will aspect is there. Everything you feel like you've done throughout the entire game, in the end, almost ends up actually being for nothing, because all of the things that you do are hardships that end up being reversed because of Dr. Maruki. So the alternate ending takes back everything that you have done throughout the game and sort of does a full-on hard reset to where the things they have done, the experiences they have went through are actually just not there anymore. They act like they're your friends. They know that you're your friends. They know that you have bonds with them. I mean, even Morgana is no longer a cat, so he even, believes that he's been a human the whole time, and everything that is, a discrepancy is sort of gone. But for the most part, the things that you have done in the game are for nothing. Ann and Ryuji do not fix things with their classmates and figure out how to fit into society normally. Same thing with Joker and Akechi. They don't actually learn in those different ways. Futaba, instead of actually learning how to deal with loss, like somebody like her mother, and Sojiro not being able to learn how to raise a child, he doesn't actually do that himself. He doesn't grow as a person himself, so therefore he might not go on to do certain things that he would have naturally done himself through those hardships. Same thing with Haru, learning how to take on the business and learn how to be a strong, independent person because she owns that business and she has inherited it. Yusuke also as well, as a painter, especially as a person that's a creative type, I can totally understand this. Having hardship brings out some of the best artistic abilities in somebody. It's because they have that giant flow of emotions. Whenever I'm writing music or thinking of a video, sometimes I'm editing stuff like this, I always look for inspiration. I think about the hardships that I went through that connect me to certain people, that then connects me to art, it connects me to music, it connects me to other things. I don't think Yusuke would honestly have that much of a artistic integrity or that an artistic value and creativity if he didn't have the hardships in his life. They say Yuri, I think, is one of the things that he connects to the most, and that's the, sort of loss of his mother. That's what draws him so passionately to that painting. That is why hardship is so important. And sometimes, even though things can be hard, there's the other side of the coin. There's a yin and yang to this that ends up making things be okay in the end. Without the hardship, you cannot recognize what is good. You have to have that, and that is why I think going with the other ending. The true ending is the best way to do it, to see all the characters have all of that positive growth, to see that Sumire doesn't have to be her sister. She's living life through her sister's eyes, and she's trying to be her sister, having her actually grow as a person, become her own. Sumire having her own personality, and we all know we want to have her hair down in the game. Come on now, you don't want to have that, you know, buttoned up ponytail thing like Kasumi has. We all know you want the hair down. It looks a little bit better. Don't fight me in chat, please. But like I'm saying, you don't see the character's personal growth if you have the cognitive world that Dr. Maruki has created for them. And this is why I would not say that Dr. Maruki is justified in doing what he is doing. However, I don't think he comes from a place of evilness or malintent. He's still a lighthearted person, and a person deep down that was heartbroken and just wanted to help other people that were also heartbroken as well. But the thing is, seeing the characters actually go through the hardships that they have done, seeing them overcome them, become stronger, is the true way to deal with things in life, instead of just putting mirages or putting cognitive sort of illusions, instead of actually fighting for what you believe in and actually changing your heart to be something better, which overall I think that is what Persona 5 is about. That is what Persona is about, finding your true self, not having somebody find it for you. So I think that's going to wrap up my whole discussion on Dr. Maruki and what I believe in terms of whether or not he is justified. So let me know down in the comment section below. Do you find the alternate ending to be better? Do you find the true ending to be better? Do you think it overall shows the characters off in a better light? You know, just like Akechi finally no longer being controlled by Shido, he's not being controlled by Dr. Maruki either. He has to actually pick his own destiny and chooses to die respectfully and honorably. And same thing goes for all the characters. They are finally choosing their route. But let me know down below, do you think that is justified for the true ending? Do you think Dr. Maruki has it done correctly? Let me know down below. Like this video if you like more of these deep, in-depth videos. I'm thinking about doing one off of Dojima versus Sojiro. I'm picking whether or not who is sort of the best dad. I think that'd be kind of a funny video to do in the future, but might actually take a deep dive into this and sort of break down who's the better father, who's done the most for the kids and their lives, and really just the people all around them, how blind they are to everything, yada yada. I think it'd be a pretty interesting video, and I've started to think about it a little bit with the chat and people who are also been involved in the community. But that's enough of the rant for now. So like, comment, subscribe for more content. I will see you in the next video. Click the bell so you get notified whenever I go live again or when I have a new video. And as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching.